I've worked with an old writer who was actually from Middleton in Manchester, but he said that if, when the revolution happens, that the Petrograd of Britain will be Liverpool. I think that's Yes, well, I guess Paul and I had wanted, and Rebecca had wanted to do a film about the war for some time, and hadn't quite known how to do it. And we felt there were a number of cliches waiting to be spoken, and we couldn't quite see what the story might be. And then, as time passed, the soldiers started to come home, and the private companies of contractors started to take their place. And gradually the whole story began to make sense, because of course it was the big companies who had driven the war through their politicians who worked for them at the outset to get economic dominance for that area, to get the oil, and now the companies were back there actually waging the war themselves, or doing part of the war, part of the soldiering themselves, and the whole story seemed to make a natural conclusion. And so Paul wrote the two characters of Fergus and Frankie, and the idea was that through Frankie's death and the mystery of Frankie's death, that each revelation would throw a spotlight on something that was happening, would start to draw the veil away from what was actually happening and what was going on, and that really was the genesis of it.
I think that, you know, if you're a career soldier and you spend your life, you know, doing what contractors do, being paid a hell of a lot more money for it, then why not go out there? Why not load up? Why not make some money? Why not be paid for putting your life on the line? So I don't think that that's a conscious thing that Fergus would have thought of. He gets given this opportunity to go out there to make some money, doing what he knows how to do best, what he's done the whole of his life. So I think the consequences come later, when, you know, when he loses his friend. It's almost like it lifts the veil on the kind of things that he's seen and experienced in Iraq in the first place.
It was disturbing, actually. It was great at the day. We got thoroughly engrossed in it. Mark was brilliant. I had to trust him, and that's... It's a bit deeper. The way Ken works is, it's very mysterious. Me, John, and Mark were laughing earlier on, saying we've come a long way from when we first met, which was at boot camp, and we were all kind of like for 2 weeks going, do you die, who are you, and this and that, and Ken's mysterious way of filming, which is brilliant to be engaged in. But what it mysteriously does without you realising it is that it kind of bonds you. And I certainly couldn't have done that scene if I hadn't have had trust with Mark, because it was freaky at the time doing it. By the end of the day, we had a bit of a rap party, didn't we? And I am an actor, I've got an ego. At the night time when everyone's going, Trevor, you were great, and this and that, and I was looking at John going, I'm better than you, John. It was all fun and games, but the next day coming back on the train from Liverpool, a bit of an hangover, but full of glee for myself, I suddenly got a panic attack. I could actually feel the towel over me. I could feel it on my face, and for about 2 weeks, it was ingrained in me. What it did do at that point was, it stopped me looking at the film as, hey, I'm an actor, I've got a part with a Ken Loach film. This could be the one. What it did do, then it made me actually start thinking about what Ken was trying to do in this and that. And for instance, the likes of Craig, you know, this guy's been there, done it. What a tremendous guy. Just opened my eyes up to a lot of things. So yeah, I was really glad that I did it in a weird way.
John, was that really your backside, or did you have to get a body double in?
It was a body quadruple.
Just like Trevor, we had a lot of talk, and I could only do that scene with someone I really trusted.
Just like Trevor, I've had a few dreams about that scene myself.
How I was cast for the part is Paul Laverty, the writer, when he was doing his research for the film, came to my auntie's house at the time where I was living. I'd only been injured for about, must have been less than 6 months, and he just came to us to have a chat really. So we had a talk and all the rest of it. I met up with him again, and then I was in France. I played blind football for England, and as you've seen some of the scenes there, I was playing blind football in an Everton shirt. So, and I'm a Liverpoolian. I got a phone call off Ken's PA saying that Ken would like to meet me, and I was like, yeah, okay, not a problem. You remember you spoke to Paul and all the rest of it? I was like, yeah, cool. I'm just in France at the moment. I'll be back, and I come back and I met up with Ken. I had him sitting in my house, made him a bowl of scouse. I was sitting there, my girlfriend was going, don't offer him tea, do you know what I mean? And I was like, oh yeah, come on, sit down and have a bowl of scouse and all like that. And lucky enough, he liked it and he ate it. So it was a good start to a relationship, really. And he asked me there, and then he said, right, we've got this part, and would you like to play it? And I was like, yeah, sounds. I said, can't act though, you know. Do you realise? And he was like, no, don't worry, you just sort of have to play yourself. And it was like, there's a funny story sort of that goes along with it, because I remember going to my uncles and all my family and friends and stuff, and my girlfriend owns a beauty salon, and she was telling a client that we had like Ken Loach sitting in our living room. And me and her didn't really know who he was, to be fair, do you know what I mean? And we were like, yeah, just this director, do you know what I mean? Yeah, just sat in my house and just asked me if I wanted to be in a film, and everyone was like, are you messing? Ken Loach, do you not realise he's been in your house? And we were like, and then later on I realised what a great honour it was to have such a great director and a great British talent and sitting in my living room, and I think that's a story that'll hold on forever really, and it'd be a good one to tell my grandkids. So that's how it was.
What I really liked at the end was the way they took the baddies out. You know, it was poetic justice. They waterboarded the guy, and he was horrible. You had a brilliant film, by the way, mate. Brilliant. But when they took the big man out at the top as well, and you're just in the wrong time at the wrong place, wow, bang! Anyway, brilliant.
Can I just say something there? Paul Laverty, the writer, had a brilliant way of putting it, which you don't see in the film, but he says, at that moment, after the explosion, he wrote, Iraq in an English country garden. And I thought that really summed the whole thing up.
I mean, there's one investigation that I just heard of today, which is just extraordinary. There's an investigation in Afghanistan, apparently, in that contracting agencies are suspected of going to warlords to recruit in Afghanistan. So the people allegedly working on behalf of occupying forces are taken from the warlords. Now, I mean, what an absurd, catastrophic situation that is. We heard, I was in a discussion the other day with a guy who is responsible for a group of contracting companies. And he was saying, yes, they need regulation, they need regulation. There are some cowboys and there are some authentic companies full of honourable guys who are good soldiers doing their best. And I'm sure there are many honourable lads doing their best in a difficult situation. But I think our reply to that is, no, it's beyond regulation. What we need is end the occupation, come home, don't have private armies.